Hey guys, Matt Cog coming to you with another daily devotion here. Hope it's been encouraging and inspiring to you as we've kind of been walking through things. I know Pastor Andy has been going through Romans. Brett just started Psalm 119. I'm kind of working through James. And so hopefully these have been little nuggets that you can just kind of ingest and kind of help fuel you throughout your day and so forth. So I'm going to pick back up in James 1 verse 6. And last week we talked about from James 5, if any of you need wisdom, kind of like who doesn't need wisdom, but we should ask God. He's generous. He will give it to you. And then he continues on in verse 6. It says, but when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver, for a person with divided loyalty is as unsettled as a wave on the sea that is blown and tossed about by the wind. Such people should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Their loyalty is divided between God and the world, and they are unstable in everything they do. So, as we're picking back up, James has now said, if you lack wisdom, ask our generous God and he'll give it to you. Then he puts this little bit of a caveat on it. He says, but you have to believe and have faith in God alone. And now I started thinking about this morning and was thinking about this aspect of this belief and not being double-minded and like a wave tossed about on the sea. And the double-minded really got me thinking about that we're not trusting. If we're double-minded, we say we believe, but yet we're actually trusting in something else. That's what he's thinking, having the double-minded or kind of being double-focused. And it got me thinking about a long time ago when I was a little kid. We were traveling and I think we were going cross country somewhere. And so we were driving through the mountains. And as we came up through the mountains, then the clouds were heavy and falling down a little bit on the mountains. And all of a sudden, our car is enveloped and wrapped, surrounded by thick clouds. And I remember thinking, this is the coolest thing ever. It was so neat to be inside of a cloud. But then the second thing that I noticed is that I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see where we were going. I could barely even see outside of the car and so forth. And it got me thinking, well, how is my dad knowing where to go? And it got me thinking later on, as I learned to drive as well too, that obviously we were going a little bit slower at the time, but all we needed to see was just that little bit that was right in front of us. We didn't have to see 20 miles down the road. While we're going slower, all we had to see was the next little bit. And then when we'd get there, we saw the next little bit. When we got there, the next little bit. And that got me thinking a lot about how that is trusting God and not being double-minded. I mean, we could have just said, oh, we can't see where we're supposed to go 20 miles from now, so we're done. And that's just trusting the long distance vision. But we were trusting that next little step. And that got me thinking, kind of tagging off of what Brett's doing in Psalm 119, is in Psalm 119, 105. It says, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light on my path. And you know, when you think about a lamp to your feet, that covers the next step and the next step. So, you know, sometimes God gives us a vision of something a long way away that we can strive towards and work towards. But other times, he just gives us the next little step and the next little step and the next little step. And so that is the trusting God and having the belief for the wisdom. God may not give us the wisdom for everything that we need all at once, but he'll give us just what we need, just what we need, just what we need. And so we have to believe and trust that he'll give it to us exactly when we need it as well too. Not being double-minded, but 100% sold out, all in for God. So that's my encouragement to you today, is when you ask God for wisdom, because we all need it, believe that he will give you exactly what you need in phases. And trust, let that light shine to your feet as you walk after Jesus Christ. All right, guys, have a great day, and we'll continue in James next week. See you later.